Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to part 10 of where I show my complete vinyl collection. Now we're still in the miscellaneous section and we're on the L's at the moment. After the miscellaneous I'll be doing the female solo singers stroke female groups, which you can see in this little picture. Okay, so starting off with L, and it's really Nick Lowe, and there's an awful lot of Nick Lowe, so it takes up about half of this video. And I'm starting with the live album, the live stiffs, which is Nick Lowe, Larry Wallace, Reckless Eric, Ian Dury and Elvis Costello, and he does I Knew the Bride When She Used to Rock and Roll with Us, along with Let's Eat, which is not a bad song, it's not brilliant. Okay, now his debut album, Jesus of Cool, which is a really good album with I Love the Sound of Breaking Glass on it, and So It Goes, Mary Provost, Little Hitler. And incidentally, those 6 pictures of Nick Lowe are not 6 pictures of Nick Lowe. This one here where my finger is actually Dave Edmunds. And I also have a reissue of it. That original one was on Radar, this is on the Demon. And I believe these are all Nick Lowe. Yes, they are, they're all Nick Lowe this time. And this is a gatefold sleeve, and it was released around 1990, I believe. Remember picking it up in Woolworths. I also have this, which is Wireless World, which is the same album. However, it does include the tracks that were on the American version called Pure Pop for Now People. So this is now a 14-track album, and it was a record store issue a couple of years ago. The original of Labour of Lust on the Radar label as well, an absolutely brilliant album. And then a reissue with gatefold sleeve, and this actually includes American Squirm and Basing Street. Now American Squirm was on the original US version, but Basing Street was just the B-side of Cracking Up. It's not a bad little song. And then we have Rockpile, Seconds of Pleasure, and as I showed in another video, the reissue I filed with the Dave Edmunds albums. This is not a bad album, the Nick Lowe songs are the best, and you can see there's a free EP in there as well where Nick and Dave sing Everly Brothers tracks, which is actually quite good. 16 All Time Lows is a compilation of those first 3 albums, and it is really good. And this was the first album I got of Nick Lowe. Well, I didn't actually got Jesus of Cool years ago, but I sold it. But I bought this in tape, loved it, and started buying all his records. Nick the Knife, the UK version, brilliant album with Burning and Heart on it, and My Heart Hurts, love it, one of his best. And then the US version with a slightly different cover, and to be honest I prefer this cover, it's a far better cover, it's a reissue as well, and there's a free 7-inch given with it. This is an interrogation of Nick Lowe alias Nick the Knife, and it's really an re-disc, and there's a few snippets of tracks from the Nick the Knife album going through it, and this was extremely cheap, got this on Discogs. The UK version of Abominable Snowman, and there's a little bit of pink in the cover, as you can see here. This is a 1983 album. It's got Wish You Were Here with Paul Carrick on it, Raging Eyes. It's a very good album. It's one that I never really liked, but I really do like it now. And the reissue is the American cover with no pink through it, and it sounds great. We have another compilation called Nick's Knack, and this takes in tracks from Nick the Knife and Abominable Showman, as well as a couple from the Rockpile album and Labour of Lust. It's just a follow up to 16 All Time Lows. Cowboy Outfit, and this is the UK version with an inner sleeve, and this has got half a boy and half a man on it. Very good album. They're all good albums, that's why Nick Lowe's my number 4 artist. Cowboy Outfit again, and this is a reissue. No inner sleeve in this one, and the thing is they changed the track listing around, the same tracks but not in the same order, but again it sounds great. Rose of England, brilliant album, the second one with the cowboy outfit with I Knew the Bride on it, and Hope to God I'm Right, Darling Angel Eyes, fantastic album. And the reissue of it in a gatefold, and it's the same track listed in the same order, but fantastic album. With a pinker and prouder than previous, and this is the original UK version with an inner sleeve in it, and this is my favourite Nick Lowe album, and You're My Wildest Dream, the opening track, is possibly my favourite Nick Lowe song. But they reissued it again, and this time they didn't put an inner sleeve in for some reason, but it still sounds very, very good. Party of One, probably one of my least favourites. It's okay, they reissued this in a different cover with a couple of extra tracks, and this one's produced by Dave Edmonds. I think the highlight of this is I Don't Know Why You Keep Me On and What's Shaking on the Hill. It also has the very whimsical All Men Are Liars on it. Little Village, and this is the album he did with Ry Cooder, John Hyatt and Jim Keltner. This is not a bad album, but it only has 2 lead vocals by Nick, and this is essentially similar to the John Hyatt Bring the Family album. It's the same band, and it just goes under the name Little Village, but it's a good album. Now we get into Nick Lowe in the 90s, and this is The Impossible Bird, and this is an absolutely fantastic album with a beautiful version of True Love Travels on a Gravel Road. And then Dig My Mood, which is another very good album with Lonesome Reverie on it. Man That I've Become is great, which is a very Johnny Cash type song, as is I Must Be Getting Over You. Really good album. And then the Convincer from 2001, I believe, and this is very laid back. Like Homewrecker is so laid back, it's goes at a funeral pace. Indian Queens is my favourite track off this. Again, it's a really good album. And then At My Age from 2007, which is another brilliant album with Feel Again, which is brilliant. The Man in Love. My favourite is A Better Man, the opener, which is a beautiful little song. And then The Old Magic from 2011, another great album. This is a little bit more upbeat, and it's probably one of his best. I think it's probably my 3rd favourite of his. Check out Time's Great House for Sale, Sensitive Man, absolutely brilliant album, and I played this to death whenever it first came out. Then I have the Christmas album Quality Street, which is good, but you obviously don't play it apart from Christmas. The highlight is Christmas at the Airport, a Nick Lowe original, great song. And then you have the Quality Holiday Review Live, Nick Lowe and the Straight Jackets, which is a live album. Half of it is the Straight Jackets and half of it's Nick Lowe, but it is very good. And then we have this album here, which is Walkabout, Nick Lowe and the Straight Jackets, and this is basically a little compilation of some of the recent tracks he's released. So side 1 is Nick Lowe, You've Tokyo Bay, Crying Inside, brilliant. Cover version Heartbreaker, the Dionne Warwick / Bee Gees song, Love Starvation, Blue on Blue and Trombone. So I do have the singles of this, the 12-inch singles and the 7-inch singles. It's nice to have it all on one album, and it's a very good comp. I had to get that from America actually. Now because of Nick Lowe, I also filed Brinsley Schwarz along with the L's, so it really should be B, but still. Brinsley Schwarz debut album, Nick Lowe is the chief songwriter and lead singer. Despite It All, their second album, very country. That first album was very sort of Crosby, Stills and Nash. This is more like the Byrds' Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Silver Pistol, really good album, a little bit more soulful. The fantastic track Egypt is on this, as well as Nightingale. Nervous on the Road, very pub rock, and Ian Gom had a write for this, and actually the best song off this is an Ian Gom song, It's Been So Long, which Dave Edmonds covered on his Twangin' album. Please Don't Ever Change, very good, almost slightly 50s type sound. This is a reissue. The original cover was a white cover with a picture of the band. Their last official album is the New Favourites of Brinsley Schwarz, and this is the one with What's So Funny About Peace, Love and Understanding. To me, that's the best version, is the one on this album. I know Nick does it himself, like a slow acoustic version, which is good, but I still prefer that. Brinsley Schwarz, It's All Over Now, and this is basically what would have been their last album if they had stayed together. and this actually includes a version of Cruel to Be Kind, which is not as good as the solo Nick Lowe version. As Lovers Do was recorded by Dave Edmonds, and Nick himself did We Can Mess Around and put it on the Abominable Showman album. I keep saying Snowman. A comp of Brinsley Schwarz and his original Golden Greats, and it's not bad. However, this album is much better, and it's 15 thoughts of Brinsley Schwarz, and it's more comprehensive, and it includes the really catchy track There's a Cloud in My Heart, which I don't know why it wasn't a hit single. It's absolutely brilliant. So that's the end of the Nick Lowe section, and we're halfway through. Phil Lynott, solo in Soho, and this is the one with Yellow Pearl on it, but it's not the same version as the single version. The single is actually better. And we have M, and this is the one with pop music on it, and That's the Way the Money Goes. It's not a bad album. Robin Scott, I think, was the main man there. M, The Official Secrets Act, and this is their second album, and this is nowhere near as good. It's okay, but it's disappointing. Madness, One Step Beyond, really good Madness album with the title track and My Girl, etc. Madness, Absolutely, which is a very good album as well. I really like Ernie, E-R-N-I-E. Baggy Trousers, brilliant. Embarrassment, brilliant. And the other single was The Return of the Lost Palmas 7. Talking of 7, we have Madness 7, and this is the one with Cardiac Arrest, Shut Up, and Grey Day on it, and this is actually a pretty good album as well. Complete Madness, which is the greatest hits, and I think this was their only #1 album until their most recent one, which I don't have, and you know, this is just great stuff. The Rise and Fall, and this is a good album, a little bit more darker, deeper, more meaningful, and this has Our House on it, and Tomorrow's Just Another Day. It's a good album. This one here I think is very good, and it's Keep Moving, and this was from 1984, and the big hit off this, or the biggest hit, was Michael Caine, which I think is absolutely brilliant, but the other hit was One Better Day, which is actually quite good as well. Madness, Utter Madness, which is basically Complete Madness Part 2, so it takes in the material after the Complete Madness album. Mad Not Mad, and this is one with Uncle Sam on it, and Yesterday's Men. Yeah, it's a good album. It's not bad. I think it's from around 86. A lot of these Madness albums I got really cheap on Amazon, as this one I did as well. I think this was a tenner, and it's wonderful. And I haven't actually played this yet, so I can't comment on it, but it does have the single Love Struck on it, which is a good track. I remember that back in the day, I think 92. The Liberty of Norton Folgate, and this is a very, very strong album. I think this is great, and this is from about 2007, and it's over a double album. The Big One, and it's Full House, and this is all the singles, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 discs to it, and it's an absolutely excellent compilation. Mamas and Papas, 20 Greatest Hits. I need to get a different copy of this, because this is slightly overly scratched. California Dreamin', dedicated to the one I love. Monday Monday, the Dream a Little Dream of Me, all the sort of big hits. The Manhattan Transfer, and this is actually quite a good album. It's a little bit jazzy, but I do enjoy it. Tuxedo Junction, I think, is a really, really good track, and because I got that for 99p, I bought this one as well, and this is Coming Out by the Manhattan Transfer, and this is the one I believe with Chanson d'Amour on it, which I absolutely love. I know it was the #1 hit over here. I don't know how it did in America, but it's a great track, and the album is good, but I do prefer the other album. Alright, here we go into seriously guilty pleasures, and Barry Manilow. Sorry TC, but it is a guilty pleasure. Yeah, the best of Barry Manilow, and I think I got this as a freebie, and it has Mandy on it, which is fantastic. Could It Be Magic, I Write the Songs, Coco Cabana. Like, you just can't not like that sort of stuff. Well, I suppose you can. Okay, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Catch a Fire, good album. Don't have the one with the Zippo lighter sleeve, but so Bob Marley again, and Burning, another really good one, and this is the one with a small axe and Get Up Stand Up. Yeah, very enjoyable. I think this one's actually slightly better than Catch a Fire, even though it does have Stir It Up on it. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Natty Dread, and this is the one with the original version of No Woman No Cry, which is not as good as the live version. Lively Up Yourself, it's a good album. Bob Marley and the Wailers again, Rastaman Vibration, another good album. I think this is the one with Johnny Was on it that Stiff Little Fingers covered. Yeah, these Bob Marley albums are all good. There's one I'm not keen on, which I'll come to very shortly. Exodus, which is probably his most famous album, and this almost reads like a greatest hits with Jam and the title track, Waiting Being, Three Little Birds, One Love. This is the one that I'm not as keen on, and this one is Survival. I think this is from about 1978 or 79 or so. It's okay, but you know, it's never really appealed to me that much, but it's in the collection. And then we have Kaya, and this is another brilliant album, and I think it should be the other way around. I think I should have shown this one first. Easy Skanking, Kaya, Sun is Shining, Is This Love, Satisfy My Soul. This is a brilliant album, especially side 1. Another Bob Marley, and it's Uprising, and this is the one with my favourite Bob Marley song, Could You Be Loved on it. Is brilliant. Redemption Songs on here is great. Coming In From the Cold, another brilliant track. It's a very good album. This one here is Chances Are, and these are like demos from I think the early 70s, and I remember having 2 singles from this, Chances Are and Reggae on Broadway, which I got from Oldies Unlimited years and years and years ago, and I loved them. And I finally saw this album, and it is a pretty good album. I love the Chances Are song, beautiful. Confrontation, and this is the one with Buffalo Soldier on it and Chant Down Babylon, and this is actually quite a good album. It gets slated a little bit, but I think it's good. It was released in 84, and also in 84 of course we have Legend, Gatefold sleeve, original. Apparently now it only comes in a single sleeve, but this is the first Bob Marley I ever bought, and I'm sure it's the first Bob Marley a lot of people ever bought. Well, we're coming very near the end here, and we have Matchbox, Riders in the Sky. I do like Matchbox. It's rock and roll, and this is their first album, and this is closer to the actual true rock and roll sound, so it's not one of my favourites. This one here is much better, Setting the Woods on Fire, and I absolutely love the title track of this. And then we have Matchbox itself, and this is the one with Rockabilly Rebel on it and Buzz Buzz a Diddle It. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And then Midnight Dynamos, when you ask about love, is on this, and obviously the title track, and there may be another hit off this, I'm not sure. No, I think those are the only 2 singles, but this very, very good album. And then we have Flying Colours. I think this is from around 1981 or so, and it's got Love's Made a Fool of You on it, and Babes in the Wood. Again, it's really good fun. I do like that rock and roll revivalist more so than the original rock and roll. And the last one is Cross the Line, and this is not a bad album as well, and this has got I Want Out with Kirsty MacColl on it, which is a fantastic track, and One More Saturday Night, which is brilliant as well. So it's Matchbox. So that's it. That's part 10. I'll be carrying on with the M's in the next video, and that will be quite soon. So that's me for now. All the best now. Bye bye.